Sridhar Rao, as Swami Chidananda, was known before taking sannyas, embracing a life of renunciation, was born to Srinivasa Rao and Sarojini on the 24th September 1916, the second of 5 children and the eldest son. Sri Srinivasa Rao was a prosperous zamindar, a rich landlord, owning several villages, extensive lands and palatial buildings in South India. Sarojini was an ideal Indian mother, noted for her saintliness. At the age of 8, Sridhar Rao's life was influenced by one Sri Anantaya, a friend of his grandfather, who used to relate to him stories from the epics Ramayana and Mahabharata. During tapas austerities, becoming a rishi and having a vision of the Lord became ideals which he cherished. His uncle Krishna Rao shielded him against the evil influences of the materialistic world around him and sowed in him the seeds of the Nivritti life renunciation, which he joyously nurtured until, as later events proved, it blossomed into sainthood. His elementary education began at Mangalore in 1932. He joined the Muttaya Chettiar School in Madras, where he distinguished himself as a brilliant student. His cheerful personality, exemplary conduct, and extraordinary traits earned for him a distinct place in the hearts of all teachers and students with whom he came into contact. Quite early in life, although born in a wealthy family, he shunned the pleasures of the world to devote himself for seclusion and contemplation. In the matter of study, it was the spiritual books which had the most appeal to him, more than college books. Even while he was at college, textbooks had to take second place to spiritual books. The works of Sri Ramakrishna, Swami Vivekananda and Sri Gurudev took precedence over all others. He shared his knowledge with others, so much so that he virtually became the guru of the household and the neighborhood. To him he would talk of honesty, love, purity, service and a devotion to God. He would exhort them to perform japa of Ramanam. While still in his 20s, he began initiating youngsters into this great Ramataraka mantra. He was an ardent admirer of Sri Ramakrishna Math at Madras and regularly participated in the satsangs, association with the wise there. The call of Swami Vivekananda to renounce resounded within him, pure heart. He ever thirsted for the darshan of saints and sadhus visiting the metropolis. In June 1936, he disappeared from home. After vigorous search by his parents, he was found in the secluded ashram of a holy sage some miles from the sacred mountain shrine Tirupati. He returned home after some persuasion. This temporary separation was but a separation for the final parting from the world of attachments of family and friends. While at home, his heart dwelt in the silent forests of spiritual thoughts, beating in tune with eternal Pranavanada, mystic sound of the eternal of the Jnana Ganga, river of knowledge within himself. The 7 years at home, following his return from Tirupati, was marked by seclusion, service, intense study of spiritual literature, self-restraint, control of the senses, simplicity in food and dress, abandonment of all comforts and practice of austerities, which augmented his spiritual power. The final decision came in 1943. He was already in correspondence with Sri Swami Shivanandaji Maharaj of Rishikesh. He obtained Swamiji's permission to join the ashram. On arriving at the ashram, he naturally took charge of the dispensary. He became the man with the healing hand. The growing reputation of his divine healing hand attracted a rush of parents to Shivananda Charitable Dispensary. Very soon after joining the ashram, he gave ample evidences of the brilliance of the intellect He delivered lectures, wrote articles for magazines, and gave spiritual instructions to the visitors. When the Yoga Vedanta Forest Academy, now known as the Yoga Vedanta Forest Academy, was established in 1948, Sri Gurudev paid him a fitting tribute by appointing him Vice Chancellor and Professor of Raja Yoga. During his first year, he inspired his students with his brilliant exposition of Maharishi Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. In spite of his multifarious activities and intense sadhana, he founded, under the guidance of Gurudev, the Yoga Museum in 1947, in which the entire philosophy of Vedanta and all the process of Yoga Sadhana are depicted in the form of pictures and illustrations. Towards the end of 1948, Gurudev nominated him as a General Secretary of the Divine Life Society. The great responsibility of the organization fell on his shoulders. From that very moment, he spiritualized all his activities by his presence, counsel, by his leadership. He exhorted all to raise their consciousness to the level of the divine. On Guru Purnima Day, the 10th of July 1949, he was initiated into the Holy Order of Sannyas by Sri Swami Shivananda Maharaj. He now became known as Swami Chidananda, a name which connotes one who is in the highest consciousness and bliss. In November 1959, Swami Chidananda embarked on an extensive tour of America, being sent by Gurudev as his personal representative to broadcast his message of divine life. In August 1963, after the Mahasamadhi of the Master, he was elected as President of the Divine Life Society. After election, he strove to hold aloft the banner of renunciation, dedicated service, love and spiritual idealism, not only within the steps of the widespread organization of the society, but in the hearts of countless seekers throughout the world, who were all together to seek his advice, help and guidance. Sri Swami Chidananda has toured the length and breadth of India, Malaysia, South Africa to serve the devotees of the society.